Okay, moving on to the last and final segment of today's show. If you guys listen to this program, you know that I actually have not recorded since the Super Bowl. And in that game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers became not only the first team in the history of the Super Bowl to host the game, but they won the game, beating up Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to win their second Super Bowl title in franchise history. And I just wanted to say this, man. Tom Brady does it again. Even though we all get it, he's the GOAT. What this guy has done throughout his career is absolutely insane. But I don't think many people would have ever predicted Tom Brady to go to Tampa Bay during the COVID offseason. And keep in mind, Tampa Bay is a place that historically hasn't really won a lot of football games. The culture of that locker room has not really been there for the past 10 to 15 years. It hasn't been that good. And all of a sudden, Tom Brady comes into Tampa Bay, a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 14 years, a team that historically has been considered losers. He goes into Tampa Bay, gets Bruce Arians, a coach that has really struggled to get over the edge in the big game. Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay and gets BA his first career Super Bowl ring. Then he brings in Antonio Brown. He brings in Gronk, and it's just crazy how much one player coming into a locker room could affect the whole franchise like Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay did. And one thing I will say about this whole situation is I think that this could be the second best win of Tom Brady's career. We all remember the Super Bowl against the Atlanta Falcons, 28-3, and he led that comeback, and that was absolutely insane. That was historically good. But I do think when you consider everything going against Tampa Bay throughout these playoffs, and really the regular season, I'll fully admit, there were many times where I watched the Buccaneers play offense throughout this regular season, and I was just like, yo, what's good with this team? Are they ever going to be able to find a way to get the job done? Their offense would look lost at times. They never really were able to develop that consistent chemistry until that bye week hit. And you remember Tampa Bay playing against Detroit. You remember Tampa Bay playing against the Atlanta, and their offense looking really good in those games. And I just remember asking myself, okay, that was a really nice job, but that's against Tampa Bay, or that's against Detroit. That's against Atlanta. There is no way that they're going to be able to keep this going in the postseason, especially considering the fact that their offensive line going into the playoffs, it'd been all right. It'd been a little up and down, but that was another one of the main reasons why Tampa Bay ended up winning the Super Bowl, right? Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay. All of a sudden, their special teams that hasn't been good in ages. You guys remember the Buccaneers? They drafted Roberto Aguayo in the second round from Florida State. What an awful draft pick. You guys remember that dude Matt Gay when Daniel Jones started his first career game for the New York Giants? He misses the kick, and that's ultimately why the Giants won that game. I feel like Tampa Bay special teams was never good until Tom Brady got there. And all of a sudden, he comes to Tampa Bay. Ryan Suckup, one of the more underrated kickers in our game. He is hitting big kick after big kick because when a guy like Tom Brady comes into your organization, you know that you're going to have to clean up everything because the expectations are really Super Bowl or bust. Tampa Bay secondary hadn't been very good. All of a sudden, Tom Brady comes in. They're one of the better secondaries in the league. And really, Tampa Bay's defense as a whole. I don't think many people expected Tampa Bay's defense to be the main reason why they ended up winning the Super Bowl. But their ability to just get to Patrick Mahomes was super impressive. And it was really the main reason why they won the game. But when I was watching the Super Bowl, right, there was one thing that really stood out to me. And I asked myself, hold on. Is Tom Brady likable? And keep in mind, you're listening to someone talk who has been a big-time New York Jet fan for the past 10 to 15 years. And I watched what Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were able to do during their run in New England, and I totally understand. It was historically good. It was special. But there is a unique difference between Tom Brady in New England and Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. And let me explain. You guys remember when the Patriots were out here winning Super Bowls? During their parade, Bill Belichick would just be chanting, "No days off. No days off. No days off." And to be honest, that kind of fit and blended in with the mantra of the New England Patriots. They have a head coach who's a robot, who comes into the office at 3 a.m. every morning and will do whatever it takes to win, whether it's spying on another team, whether it is, the stuff that happened in Cincinnati, the Deflategate. Bill Belichick will do whatever it takes to win. I totally understand that. And he was out here chanting, "No days off, no days off." And Tom Brady, he's never really been relatable. He's been a guy that's been married to a supermodel wife. He's been a guy that's been winning Super Bowls at quarterback. He's been living that lavish lifestyle for a while. I just think the problem was when he was a member of the New England Patriots, it's not like we could have related to him in any way. But watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl parade and seeing Tom Brady out here absolutely zooted on national television and not caring, I sat back and said to myself, wow, this version of Tom Brady is actually pretty likable because he's relatable. We just saw him go on national TV, get drunk as hell after his team won the Super Bowl, and he just say, I don't care. I don't care what Bill Belichick says about taking days off after you win. I'm going to take as many days off as I freaking want because I won the Super Bowl. You also look at the commercial that just dropped between Brady and Gronk, considering the fact that Tom Brady, Gronk said, retire, retire, retire. And Tom Brady was like, nope, I'm winning a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay with Gronk. He was just built like that. And Tom Brady has really become, I think, a different kind of quarterback since he's left Bill Belichick's shadow in New England. A lot of people will say, Zach, you know how New England's culture is just so good and it's so respectable, and that's why they're out here winning so many games. And it was good, no doubt. But the reason why they were winning so many games was because they had an elite quarterback. And the reason why they were out here winning so many games was because they had an elite head coach. But still, an elite head coach could only do so much without an elite quarterback. And I think we really saw that in the Super Bowl, and we really saw that earlier in the season watching the New England Patriots struggle. There were many people that thought, okay, Bill Belichick, Cam Newton, even if the Patriots aren't out here winning Super Bowls or competing with the Chiefs, they're still going to be a relatively good football team. That's what most people really did think going into this season. But you guys realize, right? New England is like a ghost town now. It's dead. When was the last time you heard anything about them? There is no palpable culture in New England anymore. And you know why? It's because Tom Brady is in Tampa Bay, and he has really created some momentum. He brings in Antonio Brown. He brings in Gronk. He brings in Leonard Fournette, and he's able to do a really nice job turning those guys around and getting them ready to win a Super Bowl. Bruce Arians is a very good football coach, but no one really expected him to win a Super Bowl when Jameis Winston was the quarterback in Tampa Bay, no matter how much talent the Buccaneers had. And that's what makes this thing so crazy. Tampa Bay was 7-9 before the season started last year. And even with Tom Brady as a quarterback improvement over Jameis Winston, it is so ridiculously hard to take a team who all they've done over the last couple of years has been losing games. They haven't been to the playoffs prior to this year since 2007. And Tom Brady just comes to Tampa Bay right away and immediately changes the culture. And you could tell people want to come to Tampa Bay to play for Tom Brady because this version of Tom Brady isn't only smart, but he's great too in sunny Florida with the sun out. The beaches are going crazy, obviously, during normal times. During COVID, you obviously hope everyone's staying safe. But that's not going on in the New England area right now. Bill Belichick is sitting there in his basement in a crazy amount of snow and thinking, wow, what happened? Why doesn't anyone want to come play for New England? I didn't really think much of the report that dropped when Matthew Stafford got traded that he didn't want to go to the New England Patriots. I just thought, okay, look, Matthew Stafford has gone through a lot in Detroit, and one of the guys they made him suffer through was Matt Patricia. And even if Matt Patricia isn't the defensive coordinator or even on the coaching staff, he's just a certain advisor, I thought that was the reason why Matthew Stafford didn't want to go to New England, because considering the fact that they don't really have any weapons and the fact that Patricia's there are just better options out there for him. But I didn't really think about it in the fact that it's just like, what does New England offer that is appealing as a quarterback? Josh McDaniels? He was out here interviewing for the Philadelphia Eagles job, and if they wanted him to get the job, he easily could have left and not be here in New England right now. What is going on in New England? And I'm a Bill Belichick believer, but I'm not going to lie. This team is looking pretty stale right now. It's looking pretty boring. And that just contributes once again to how important of a player Tom Brady is. No matter what team he's on, he's so valuable, and his relentless attitude towards winning is something that really no one else has. No one else in the league, I think, could have gone to Tampa Bay and have led this Buccaneers team to a Super Bowl and could have really changed the culture in Tampa Bay like Tom Brady did. It really just matters in the sense that if you want to win a championship, if you're an elite coach, you can't do it all by yourself. Is Phil Jackson one of the best NBA coaches of all time? Absolutely. But there's a reason why he has all those championships. You know why? It's because he coached Michael Jordan. It's because he coached Kobe Bryant. It's because he coached Shaq. If he didn't have those guys, you think Phil Jackson has anywhere near the amount of rings he does today? No. And I believe the same thing could be said about Steve Kerr in Golden State. What has he won since Kevin Durant has left and Clay has gotten hurt? Nothing. And you look at the Spurs. Greg Popovich is a great coach. Do you ever hear about him anymore in the league? Because Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, all those guys are gone. So it's pretty crazy how much perception matters, how much culture matters, and how quickly Tom Brady has become likable.